Guess who thrifted books again? Hi everyone, welcome back to Project Happy Home. For those of you who are new here, I'm Tanya, an MD-JD turned stay-at-home mom. I'm a new homeschooler of 3 kids ages 7, 4, and 2, one of whom who has ADHD. If you're interested in homeschooling videos and parenting videos in general, please hit the subscribe button. I went thrifting for books again, as I want to do, and I have a quick haul for you guys. I think I restrained myself pretty well this time. It's less than 20, so it's a success for me. I picked up books for me, for each of the kids, and I'll just get started. So one of these is just a scholastic book, 75 cents, by Eve Bunting. I Love You Too. It's such a cute little book. It just celebrates like the relationship between a mom and a kid, and I know as mamas we all love these. Just a quick tip on going to a thrift store for books as a homeschooler. Sometimes thrift stores will have discounts ongoing or on special days for educators, and they won't list home educators, and some of them are technically not allowed to give home educators a discount. I have found that if I mention it, sometimes the sales clerk will take it upon themselves to just give me a discount anyway, even if it's not company policy, just to be kind, usually because they see me walk up with like 50 educational books and they think, you know what, this lady's not making this up, she's really homeschooling her kids. So just try it, you know, even if officially the policy isn't to let you have the discount, you might want to just let them know and see what comes of it. This is just a beautiful copy of Wind in the Willows. I do have a copy of this already, but for some of my favorites, I'm okay with getting 2 copies because I think especially as they become better readers, it's nice for me to read to them as they can read to themselves at the same time. I know myself personally, I enjoyed having books read aloud to me, but I very quickly became someone who enjoyed reading them at the same time as well. I remember in school sometimes our teacher would read aloud to us while we would be following along, and I very much enjoyed seeing the words in front of me. This is just a lovely edition. If you haven't read The Wind in the Willows to your children, you should get a copy for yourself and do it because it will always be an enduring classic in my mind. I got this atlas of world archeology, which was really exciting to me. So you have the figures from Easter Island up top, but it had really a beautiful spread. It had maps with cities and everything, but also keyed to the maps were interesting archaeological finds that they found there. As we do geography next year, I thought it would be a nice thing to incorporate, especially since we'll be doing Story of the World Volume 1, I believe, so a lot of ancient civilization material. I got a couple of workbooks, one of which was Think Analogies by Critical Thinking Company. I really like Critical Thinking Company. I think their books are super entertaining. I actually recognized a lot of their type of material from my old gifted classes when I was young, which I thought were so much more entertaining than worksheets we were getting on the regular side of our classroom. So a lot of that kind of really advanced, interesting thought process activities came from books like these. In that vein, here's another analogy book, Creating and Solving Analogies, and you'll see that this is not in any way appropriate for my children's age group now, but when I go to thrift stores, if I see something that's really useful for the future, I pick it up anyway. And in that same line, one of the books I picked up was What Your 6th grader Needs to Know. I have the What Your Pre-K student needs to know, kindergartner needs to know, 1st grader needs to know. And these are just really nice spreads, I think. We use these at morning time because I like how, if you haven't picked up one of these, the way they're organized is that you'll have different subject areas, and within each subject area is sort of some core information. So English generally has some poems, which I like, some stories or fables. This one seems to have mythology in it, which is going to be very exciting to my son. And there's some sayings like the leopard can't change its spots and things like that. Then there's a history and geography section. It goes on to a visual arts section, and you can see those pictures are in color, which is a nice thing, and it talks about perspective and art. So it gives you sort of a built-in art study in the mornings if you want to do it this way. And then a music section, a math section. The math section in these books is probably my least used section because I just typically stay with math, but it is nice for your own sake to see kind of what an average sixth grader or first grader or whatever should be covering. And then there's a science section, so here's like earth science and marine science and energy. And another workbook I got was a Spanish workbook. As I mentioned, my husband is Puerto Rican Cuban, and I would very much like the kids to know Spanish. I took Spanish all the way through to college level Spanish. I don't practice it nearly as much as I should, though I still can read it fairly fluently and understand it pretty well. But hopefully my husband will start speaking Spanish with them more so that they can pick up a little more. Right now we're using Rosetta Stone and also the Duolingo app. But I thought this was a nice little workbook. Little Dino's Egg. So there's also really cute board books there. This one had this cute little pop-out dino shape, and they've already asked to have it read to them several times since I got it. So it's just an adorable story about a new baby dinosaur coming into their dino family. Another book I got was a Leonardo da Vinci art book, and it's quite thick, as you can see. Art books are an example of a typically very expensive book in Barnes & Noble or Amazon that you can get for $1 at a thrift store. And again, this is in full color, and it goes through, it goes through his painting career as well as his sketches and his sculpture work. And here's Myths and Legends, Fact and Fiction, by Vic Parker. I just thought it was really very pretty. The illustrations are very nice, and my son very much enjoys mythology. This one goes through Egyptian mythology, some Greek mythology, and it kind of goes through different things. It even has a sword in the stone, so I think it has like various myths, the adventures of Theseus, and it has little sections of facts in between, scattered in between the stories, so more about the cities and things like that the myths come from. Another one of the books I got was by Edna St. Vincent Millay. She's always been one of my favorites since high school. I always remember that line, my candle burns at both ends, it will not last the night, but all my friends and oh my foes, it gives a lovely light. And that's certainly true of motherhood. So when I saw this, I thought I would pick it up and try to read one or so every evening. Her sonnets were quite long and her poems were quite long in general, but it's always nice to keep that alive for yourself as well. This one was in the bargain bin again, The Ultimate Career, The Art of Homemaking for Today. And by today, let's see what today was when this was published, 2005. So The Art of Homemaking, 12 years ago, hopefully still holds true for now. As someone with a very extensive professional background who has transitioned into being a very part-time, mostly stay-at-home mom, it has been a difficult transition at times, especially on the ego, and learning to honor motherhood and to proudly tell people that I am homeschooling and that I take care of my children on my own. Finding a way to say that to people without feeling smaller about myself has been a challenge for me and something I continue to work on. So maybe that book will give me some more confidence when I say it at parties. This was the Norton Anthology of English Literature. I don't know if you guys read these in high school, but I certainly did. And I don't know if I ever did the Norton Anthology of English Literature, but I do like them because while they are not comprehensive, in spite of their remarkable size and incredibly small print, they present a gorgeous overview and feeling of the period of history that you're in at the time. It's really interesting to see any type of literature develop in a chronological way in these pages, and you can in one book see the style of writing change and stuff. The pages are tissue fine in here. To give you an idea of what a tome this book is, there are, including the index, over 2,600 pages. Whenever I see a Norton anthology, I pick it up simply because the quality is so high, and I like keeping them at my bedside, reading a poem every now and then, or just, meandering through. When I homeschool during the day, I like to keep a book next to me as I'm working with the kids, because I want them to understand that, learning is such a joy, and I do it for my own sake and not because anybody's above me telling me to. So I think they should see us reading and us enjoying learning as much as we hope that they do one day. I hope you enjoyed this book haul. If you want to see more videos like this, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below. Thanks so much, and as always, I hope you have a wonderful day.